Hey friends, welcome back to my studio. I have Freckles on my lap, if you can see her tail. I'm gonna paint another cow. I've got a series going. I paint them on plywood panels and they're in the entryway of the downtown Omaha gallery. It's a trouble series, so the cow's in trouble because it has a flower in its mouth. I found this cute Holstein cow photo on Pixabay. I'll link it in this video's description. I'm getting glare, so I'm trying to kind of move it around. That's lighter. I've lightened it up so I can see it better. That's the original photo. I've cropped it square. And as I mentioned, this is about a 16 by, it fits a specific space down at the entryway in the gallery. So it's 16 wide by about 15 and a half tall. Just a piece of plywood that they cut. They get it from the hardware store, the lumber store. I've patched, here, well, I'll show you. This side's not as nice, has more knots and gripper things. And I've just kind of patched it up with some gesso and some paint. I took a little structure gel because there were some dents where the wood split when they cut it, and like puttied it in like you'd spackle a wall. And then I gessoed it with some clear gesso and wrote the word love on it. All right, I'm going to tell you my colors before we get going. I'm going to do the same colors I've done for a couple of roosters, a hen painting, and maybe something else. Oh, I think the truck, which I don't have done yet. We did the truck during a live, and then my life got crazy. So here, we'll just start with this one. Mars Black. They're all going to be Liquitex. Freckles is helping me. Titanium White. Are you the boss, Freckles? I don't know, I'll see if I can pick her up. So I'm going to paint. This is going to be primarily a blue and white and black paint, just like the reference photo, I think. We'll just go with it, and then I think I'm going to put a daisy in the mouth. But I'm going to paint the background a combination of Yellow Oxide and Titanium White, just to kind of warm it up a little bit. I might get some fun greens or something going on. Prussian Blue and Red Oxide. Now, I don't know what kind of pink I'll get with the nose with the Red Oxide. That's the only reason why I threw in the Red Oxide. I might switch colors, but check out the video's description and I'll give you a heads up there. And then we'll see if Freckles will say hi. Oh, she doesn't want to. Okay, guys, let's have some fun. Hey, I thought I'd pop in with just first couple thoughts. And Freckles is back on my lap again. I've been gone a lot last week. This is a start of a new week. And I think that's affected her because since the pandemic, I've been around a bunch. I'm sure you guys with pets can relate. Okay, so I printed out the photo from Pixabay. About 15 high, so it was a little short on the width because this isn't quite square, which I'm pretty sure we already talked about the other day. And I traced my traceable, or used it as a traceable. I scribbled on the back with chalk pastel, taped it on, used it as a traceable. It's just quicker. You could like divide it in half, divide the photo in half, or more than that, and then draw it. I can link. I drew a tube of paint. I can link that, and I'll link that in this video's description. It's a good way to practice drawing. What else? Oh, I just used Prussian Blue and White. I'm going to grab my palette here. Hi, Freckles. I'm going to grab my palette here. And then on the yellow and white, or yellow oxide and white background, which isn't even, but it doesn't matter. The Prussian Blue gets muted some. It can turn green on you, but I don't think it did. So I just used Titanium White and Prussian Blue. If you don't have Prussian Blue, use an ultramarine blue. You could add a little black to it to mute it down, and then white. You don't have to go out and buy colors. What else? Oh, I mixed some browns in advance. We're gonna do I think we're going to paint a little more and then we'll do a live. I'll let you know when I'm going to pop in with a live and link to the live in this video's description. But so I took red oxide, some yellow oxide, and some black and made a brown. But you can see that brown, hopefully you can see in the video that brown, oh hey Freckles, where you going? That brown is warmer than this. I was trying to see if I could get a purple. This is a lot of Prussian blue and some red oxide. It is, I think I could put some more blue in it, make it a little bit more purpley. And then this is basically a raw sienna color. So some of this brown, a lot more yellow oxide, and I got a raw sienna color. And then I've started, okay, Freckles. she's rubbing on my arms. Yeah, I think she missed me, which is very sweet. Yes, you're a good girl. She's an old gal. I think she's 17. Okay, so hang on. Yeah, not hang on to my YouTube friends. Hang on, because I'm moving this. So I just started the eyes. So I used some yellow oxide and brown, some brown, and then I let it dry and put some of the blue on the top. I don't know if I can show you. Oh, there we go. Freckles moved so I can show you the other eye. So they're just started. Not a whole lot of progress. Okay, I think I'm going to work on this ear because it'll be easier to do this during the live, and I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, I wanted to pop in and say that we'll start the live here. I'll link it in this video's description. I've been working on the eye. Can you see that? Oh, so the eye doesn't have nearly the color and the brightness and the reflections that I have in here. But actually I think that might be good. I'm thinking of keeping this side a little warmer and this side a little bluer. Although I have some blue in the ear, but that's good. I mean, you don't want to have like a dividing line of warm and cool colors. And then as I mentioned, I double gessoed this. I put on a coat of paint, and I think it's the texture because I didn't really sand it very well. It said pre-sanded plywood, but it's just, I don't think it's soaking in. I think it's grabbing the paint. So it's just taking a little more patience is all. It's not like you can't paint on plywood. Or maybe you guys can leave tips in the comments to how you handle painting on plywood. I do like the wood panels I get from US Art Supply better. If you're curious about them, there's a link below in this video's description. But there's kind of what I did with the ear. I am like 4 inches from my phone. My nose is just a couple inches from the side of my phone. So I'm sorry about the wobbling. Hopefully that gives you a pretty good look. Okay. We'll start the live and then I'll be back after that. Okay, that last time-lapse bit was the live. Worked on the ear. I used a bigger brush and got this done. There is black up here. I'll link it in this video's description. I've got a Holstein, I think I said Holstein another time, cow with a sunflower in its mouth, where I painted it black and white and then glazed. It has some black up here. They do sometimes. I might leave this white. I'm letting a lot of the yellow show through right now. I tend to like what I paint better when I'm not talking than when I am talking, but you guys might get a chuckle because it looks good when I look in my phone. But I think all I need is maybe just some black right here. This has like, it indicates that there's some hair and then like a hole, which I like better. You don't, here I'm gonna grab hopefully my nose doesn't get in there. This is a light version of the reference photo. And actually you don't see it on that ear. Oh, maybe a little bit. When I hold up to my phone, I can see it better. So I think I just need to define it a little bit better. The light version lets me see where the edge of the face is. Hopefully there's not too much glare. So when I printed out, or when I enlarged it in Photoshop, and then I actually just drew a line with my mouse just so I could see where the edge of the face was, which was helpful. Or you could just let it blend and it'll be a soft edge. That actually might be better. You don't need to show every edge. What else? I think that's about it. The eye is developing, just in case. Well, here, we'll give you a little tour in case you don't want to watch the time lapse. So that ear could be done. I just don't know if the values are quite right. During the live, I put a little more brown over here because I'm going to think a little more blue on this one. But that ear could be done. That eye could be done. I think I'm going to put a highlight in it. There isn't a highlight in the reference photo. I like the hints of blue, especially with the blue background. It kind of is reminiscent of some reflective light. I'm not done with any of the head. So I'm thinking more blue on this side, just to keep it a little different. That eye could be done. I'm not going to put a reflection in that one. Or a strong, bright one, you know what I mean? Like a white one. Okay, guys. Oh, the other thing I mentioned too during the live is I'm going to use the red oxide on the nose and white. And we'll see how it looks. I might be tempted to come and glaze some quinacridone magenta or something over it, give it a little more pop. Okay, I just wanted to let you know that that last bit was the live, and I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, just a couple comments. So this was fighting me. It helped to put some color down, and then it helped to put some more color down. And then I kind of was trying to work wet on wet and then more in sections. And I like it. Don't get me wrong. But what also is fighting, I think what's fighting me is my colors, my paints. Let's see if I can show you. Oh, I don't know if you can see it, but like they are gooey, sticky, dried on top. Last night during the live, it's not nearly as hot in here today because we get two bodies in here with my favorite daughter, Emily. She brings a computer. I have every light on. I do have lights, which is really nice. That shines down here for videoing. It just gets hot. And I sprayed the paints, but they just aren't waking up very well today. But of course, I'm not listening to myself. Oh yeah, that's, I don't know if you can see that, but that's like, it's not dry. It's kind of wet underneath there, but it's just so gooey. I need to put out fresh paints, but I'm not listening to myself. So that's part of what I'm fighting with, is me. Not so much the painting, but I like it. I'm leaving this darker here. I don't know if I'm going to put any whites over here. It looks that way in the reference photo, but I think I'm going to keep my whites over here. I think I misspoke earlier. That might be too light right there. I think it is. Well, I don't know. We might get away with it. I'm going to put a highlight over here. I think I'll just stick one on right now. So there isn't one in the reference photo, but I'm going to put one because I can kind of say my light's coming from the top in the reference photo, you can tell, but I might just say it's coming from slightly to the right. Oh, and my white's sticky, so you can see I'm digging in for fresh paint. Let's just put, oh, that's bigger than I wanted. I think we'll leave it alone though. But you know what that does? So that's a big thick blob. It pushes that back. Does that make sense? I don't know if you can see it in the video. Because I haven't used any white yet, except for right there. What I could do too is take a little, before I show you, take a little and just kind of double dot it. Is that such a thing, double dotting? I like to laugh. I mean, just things go wrong in a painting. So now I'm just kind of bringing up the highlight there a little bit, which I might undo, but that'll help push that eye into the shadow more, because I've got a lot of color, but I kind of like it. Just things, and there's not like a right or wrong. Sometimes I'll change things and it doesn't make a darn bit of difference. Kind of bring that eyelid up a little bit. I'm just scumbling with a little, it's a 0 little round brush from Royal and Langnickel. But you start to play, to me that's fun too, is like starting to play with the values and kind of pushing them more than you can see in the photo. All right, let's take a look here. So I really do like this. It's kind of blue-gray. It's not exactly like the reference photo, but I'm hinting at the shapes. There's kind of this roundy shape here. There's some lines up in here, but you don't have to get them just right. Unless you're doing a pet portrait, which I've said before. But there's a look at the eye. I think that's fun. But it also can be weird because I need to step back. I think adding some lights up here will really help. I don't know if I have any other comments other than, if your paints are sticky, put out new paint. I know it's expensive. If you're like me, it's expensive. You know, mix bigger puddles. If it's hot and dry, mix bigger puddles. They'll last longer, and you can you see that? Let me look. Probably can't because it's white, but you can poke in. Well, here, I'll just try to poke in. Like it's dry on the top, but you can kind of poke in and get fresh paint underneath. Hopefully that showed up because I was looking at my palette and not the side of my phone. Okay, guys, I just thought I'd pop in and let you know. Yeah, I don't think that's too bright anymore. Color is relative. It's a weird thing, but it's also a fun thing to play with. Okay, I'll be back in a bit. Hey friends, let's stop and chat. So I put out fresh colors. Sorry, I was looking for the Yellow Oxide, Red Oxide, Phthalo Blue Green Shade, Mars Black Titanium White. And I mixed quite a few, like a red brown, kind of a pinky brown, a yellow brown, just for the nose. And then the nose is red oxide and white. And I was worried it's not going to be pink enough. But since my other colors are muted, I think it's cute. I really like it. And when I look at my phone, I always like it so much better than when I'm about a foot away from it. Excuse me. It's so much better. You need to step back from your work. It's really helpful. I think, well, I just realized I need to put a little, like I have some shading here. But I'm getting close to using white. And I don't like this up close, but when I look at my phone, I think it looks nice. And it would be kind of nice not to put any white there and just have some white up here. I don't know what else I need to say. I put some red oxide up in this ear. Oh, actually, I put it right there too. And I glazed a little right there, just to help unify the painting. Use it so I don't just have a pink nose and there's not any pink anywhere else. Here, let's do a little tour. It's getting there. I'm trying to get it straight. See, when you get close, you see it's kind of messier. You don't get the optical blending. You get more texture of the plywood. What's going to be really fun, so I'm always happier once I get the pink nose on. The nose and the eyes are always what do it for me, and then I love the hair and the ears. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, what also does it for me, here, I'll grab my reference photo and show you, is all the, I don't put them all in, but all the chin hairs. Here. Isn't that fun? I'm getting glare. I think you can see. Those are really fun. And they'll be fatter. I'll paint them fatter just because. But you can kind of, I think I already talked about, you can see the green underneath the chin and the throat. I have it cooler. I could kind of warm that up too. I might just leave the yellow here after I get a little bit of shading there and start putting on some whites. So this next part could go fast. Because I found all the edges of the puzzles. I found a lot of the shapes. I'm getting down to the final pieces. It just depends on how much I really want to play with it. This one has more contrast. I'm not as dark right here, I don't think. Okay, hopefully some of those comments help. I'll be back in a bit. Okay, friends, what do you think? I'm laughing because I have spent an hour on this, and it's pretty simple. I have a reference photo, but I just Googled it, so it's not copyright free, so I can't show you, but you can Google. It was an orangey, pretty orangey tulip, the photo. So I was trying to make it the yellow oxide and the red oxide. I made it pretty orange, and I've used that in some of the chicken rooster photos or videos I've talked about, which I'll link in this video's description. But it just wasn't doing it for me. And I have no idea if it's because my brain is overthinking it. But so then I grabbed I still had pink from my nose, which is just red oxide and white. There's a lighter pink. And I painted over it with pinks, and I like it a lot better. I think it's adorable. So this is Trouble 6.0. I started painting them when I joined the gallery in downtown Omaha, the Artist Cooperative Gallery. Well, actually, I started painting one before that, but they have these plywood panels out in the covered entryway. And so I'm just, every time I sell one, so I've sold 5. This is the 6th one. I named them Trouble 1.0, or just Trouble 2.0, Trouble 3.0. Here, we'll give you a tour. It's pretty soft colors. I really like that color combination. Oh, and then I wanted to tell you that I work kind of thin, and that's not gonna mean much to you, but as you keep painting, you'll get to know. And then when I know I have the colors right, then I put on thicker color. You don't have to do that. To me, it's easier to paint over, even though this is quite rough. If you could feel it, it feels quite rough, like sandpaper. Oh, I don't know, maybe you can kind of see I don't know if you can see my hand. Oh, there you can kind of see my pinky catching on it. I think it's just easier because sometimes it's hard to paint over the ridges, and it's already harder to paint over this because I should have sanded it some more. Well, I like the texture, so I don't know that I should have sanded it more, but it makes it harder to paint on. Okay, let's do a tour. See if I can get it straight. Here, maybe you wanna... I ended up keeping it looser and not as much detail. I like it. There's even some of the yellow coming through from when I painted the yellow oxide and white on the background. I think that's kind of fun. Maybe you want to see the eye. So those eyelashes are thicker than in the photo. It's okay. Just makes it kind of painterly. I like that the breeze is blowing a little bit on the ear. Can I get you a look now? I just love cow noses and mouths. I think they're just, oh, shoot. You guys, I'll be back in a bit. I need to do the whiskers. I'll be right back. Well, I guess I was really focused on the tulip flower. I'm so glad as I was doing the tour, I realized I hadn't painted the whiskers. I had some up close ones, and then I ended up putting this on my lap so I can get a better angle and turn it, but I showed you some of them. This one was like too fat, and I just took water and skinnied it out while it was still wet. If that doesn't work, you just take some of your background color and you can skinny it up. I don't know if you can see that here. Let's look at the nose. I put in more whisker chin hairs than I usually do, but I think it's fun. And then some of them are darker blue, some of them are a little lighter blue. Some of them are white, but I don't know if it shows, but like I tipped that one with some white. I don't know if you can see that. I am directly to the right of my phone as I'm videoing this. But that just makes me giggle. And it makes me giggle that I was truly focused on that flower was bugging me, you guys. And that happens. That totally happens. But I think we got there. I think it's very pretty and soft. Oh, here, maybe you want to see. There's like some blue glazing. If I can get my finger over there, over in that area. Yeah, you can see that. It's a little bluer here than it is up over there. I need a pointer. I need 3 hands, 3 arms. Okay, you guys, let me know if you give this one a try. It's really fun. It's a really sweet photo. It is so much fun for me to share my art journey with you, and I just love that you guys share your art journey with me. I have a Facebook group, Annie Troe Art Friends. The link, I have lots of links in this video's description. Thank you so much for your support. Great big happy art hugs, and I hope to chat with you soon. Bye, guys.